Yeah, so we're done with Dhruv's session. Thanks, Dhruv, for all the technical inputs. So presently, we'll just go through how the practical aspect of how the system is going to integrate and how the invoicing is going to be done. So the firstly, just let us understand how the system is going to integrate to the government portal where the invoicing is going to be generated. Okay, firstly, the Tally ERP system, whatever is the accounting software you will be using, is going to be given a TDL to it. Like I understand presently there is some TDL of some cost center allocation, state-wise allocation. These are the present available TDLs, which is an add-on to the Tally available. So for e-invoicing, there's going to be a new TDL which is going to be added. That TDL is going to work like this. It's going to take the data from your Tally, put it to the cloud software. From cloud, cloud is going to interact to the government portal. The government portal is going to give us back the cloud with a QR code and IRN number, and cloud again will give the Tally back with the QR code and the IRN number. This is how the system is going to get integrated with the new TDL which is going to be added. Any manual efforts involved in this? None. All these things is going to be a system automated one and no manual efforts. And let us just see how quickly this system of one sales invoice is raised, how quickly the Tally is going to interact with the government portal, and how quickly the data is going to come back. So let's see one example. So presently this is the Tally software. I'm just going to punch a sales data. For customer who is registered, let's take a local sale for the first case. The TDL comes with another facility as to asking us whether e-way bill is required or not required. Say in this present case, the invoice value is more than 50,000 and it's a local sale more than 50,000. That is why we are telling, okay, e-way bill is going to be applicable. Go ahead and give e-way bill, yes or no can be selected. Say if in this case, I want to select no, I don't want to do an e-way bill. So go ahead, do it like that. That's all. Now the invoice number what we generated is 174. The module comes with a bifurcation. I'll explain you this bifurcation. Let us go and see what is pending. So 174 is the invoice we raised. So presently, if I open, go ahead and print the same. Invoice is going to be there, but there is not going to be an IRN number to it. If you see, there's going to be a dummy QR code also generated. This QR code is not a QR code which the actual, this is not interacted with the portal yet. So if you see below the tax invoice, there is no IRN number which is there. So right now, let us go ahead, interact with the government portal, get the IRN number. So all I need to do is to go ahead, select the invoice which is pending, and then do upload invoice. The minute I do, it's not in the pending list. That means the e-invoicing is generated to it. So whatever is generated, I'm going through it. Say 174 is the invoice we generated. So right now, if I go and print over here the same thing, let us see. Right now, even the QR code is coming. IRN is also generated. So that's how quickly the portal interaction with Tally can be done. Say in this case, the e-way bill status is none. That means the e-way bill was not required. We just chose no, e-way bill is not required. If I choose yes, then that also will get generated. Let us take another example where I want an e-way bill. How do I do that? Say, take a higher amount. Okay. A higher amount. So I go ahead and do e-way bill, yes. So whenever I do an e-way bill, yes, that means the portal is going to generate an e-way bill. For that, some additional features I have to type in. One of which is either I should give a transporter ID or I should give a transport or I should give a vehicle number, without which the portal does not accept. So I'm going ahead and giving a vehicle number. So this invoice number is 75, and this is with the e-invoicing what we have generated right now. So going back to the module of this invoicing, going ahead and see what is pending. So 175 is the invoice we raised. All I do is select the same and do upload e-invoicing. Now it's uploaded. So again, go ahead and see what is generated. So right now, if you see 175 comes with a color coding green, and the earlier one what we did was 174, which comes with a color coding blue. What is the difference? Because if you do an e-way bill, it's going to give us green. If you do an invoice without an e-way bill, that difference is blue and green is the difference. So 175 is the invoice what we raised with IRN and an e-way bill. So if you see, IRN is also generated, as well as e-way bill on the back end is also generated for this particular invoice. So these are the two ways where e-invoicing can be raised with and without e-way bill, and it's just a click of a moment. It does not take much time. Okay, so I've shown you some two type of invoices which can be done here. This is on system integration. Okay, next. On what documents do I raise an e-invoicing? Is it required for invoice? Yes, it is required for credit note as well as debit note. All the permutation combination can be gone ahead. Whatever sale methodology I showed you, the same methodology can be adopted and raised for invoice, credit note, or debit note. Okay, now let us see the TDL features. What does the TDL give? The extra add-on which you will be getting. See, in a regular tally, only till the display or quit will be there. You can see our GST is an additional add-on which has been added here. This comes with certain features. First of all, it bifurcates your sales into B2B, B2C. How is it done? It just takes GST and number. If it is there available, then it goes to B2B, or if it's not there, then it goes to B2C. In B2B, these are the four different buckets it uses. One is the e-invoicing register as it is. Second is e-invoicing what is generated, and third is e-invoicing what is pending. Why this what is pending is very important, because in the e-invoicing era, post-dated entries are not at all allowed. If at all I want to raise an invoice for the date of 31st, and I've done it in Tally on 1st, Tally will allow, it will not have any issue, but e-invoicing will not allow. That is why on the day end, you can actually see how much of the data is punched in from your team, how much is pending, or how much with an error also. Say, for example, this particular invoice is there and it is there. Somebody has tried uploading this invoice to the invoicing portal, but it's come with an error. The error also, it says there's a pin code which is not there provided in a particular place. Let us see how do I resolve it. In this particular case, the buyer detail, the pin code here went as 0. That is why that error came out. So you will also know what is the error and how can you rectify the same. So I'm rectifying it right now. Everything else should be correct. So go ahead and do select. I've rectified the error right now. So upload an invoice. It should get uploaded. It got uploaded. So the TDL also gives us a feature to understand as to if there is an error, what is the error? Say in this particular case, a HSN was an error. So every invoice the TDL gives, is it pending? In what stage it is pending? Is it pending for what error also it gives? So these are the features available. We also understood in Dhruv's session stating that invoicing can be cancelled. If it is going to be cancelled, it has to be cancelled within 24 hours. So the TDL fourth bucket, what it gives you is invoicing which is cancelled. So in this particular case, invoice was generated and which is cancelled within 24 hours. So it says IRN is cancelled, e-way bill status is also cancelled. So what is cancelled in any of your team persons who's cancelled it, that status and why it got cancelled, all these details are also there. Okay. I'll show you some other features this has got. Here we generated an IRN number to an invoice. What other features this TDL gives? You can view the invoice online. So I select this invoice and I go ahead and press online, view online. So the minute I do, say, this is how for any of your customer, the invoice is going to appear on a government website. So view online is a button which is going to enable the invoice, which is going to be an online visibility with the IRN with the QR code generated with it. So that is one feature. Second feature is you can go ahead and do a email to a customer automatically through this. Say for example, one particular invoice I've just chosen, and I'm going to go ahead and tell, we just do something this, and I'm going to tell email invoice directly to the customer from your TDL. So in my mail, the same invoice would have come to me automatically with a acknowledgement, which is a signed payload, as well as a email also, as well as the invoice also. So the customer can get the e-invoice which is there generated and also get the same to the mail ID. Can I add more than one mail IDs? Yes. The minute your customer masters are updated with their mail IDs from Tally itself, you can generate the e-invoice as well as push the e-invoicing to the customer mail ID. This is one another feature. So few points on the features of this TDL is also covered.
Ma'am, one sample of invoices.
Uh-huh. Say your voice is not audible.
Ma'am, can you show some? Ma'am, can you show some sample?
Can you show sample? Bill to ship to case, is it?
Sample of 20 years, ma'am.
Okay. Bill to ship to case. Yeah, that also can be shown. Oh, I go ahead. I'm going to raise another invoice where in this particular case, let us see how the bill to ship to is going to cover. The buyer details, I'm going to give it as Punjab. Consignee, but however, I'm going to give his internal thing as Karnataka. So it is going to be shipped to Punjab but billed to Karnataka. This is going to be a local sale. E-way bill also, I'm going to give it as yes. Bill from Karnataka, dispatch from Karnataka also. Automatically, it is going to take bill to Karnataka as well as ship to Punjab. Give the vehicle number. The invoice number is 176. So go ahead, go to the TDL. What is pending? 176 is pending. So I select the invoice and I upload it. I think there's a net connectivity problem. I think there's a net connectivity problem. However, this invoice does get uploaded. How does it appear? I'll show you a sample. Bill to ship to case. we'll go ahead. I'll show you to the end of it. Then okay, let's go ahead and see some practical challenges. Whether generating E in okay. Then availment of ITC by a recipient will be a big question if any invoice is there from your vendor for whom e-invoicing is applicable, but the turnover is not considered and normal invoice is accepted. Then the credit in the invoice might itself get questioned. That is one another biggest practical issue. Then sorting the data from B2B and B2C. This will be another second challenge. So this TDL, as I showed you, already gives you a bifurcation of what is a B2B invoice, what is a B2C invoice. So this problem would get resolved by that. Amendment of e-invoicing cannot be done. Dhruv is already covered as to amendment cannot be done and all those things. Okay. This type of tax error, I think this also Dhruv is covered. So next one. Lastly, let us go to the important to-dos. One is the customer master files, which is all a mandatory fields. Dhruv has already stated that certain mandatory fields are there, which is which invoicing cannot be uploaded without it. Say in one of the cases here, the HSN is an error. So until and unless that HSN has been rectified, I cannot do any invoicing. The status is going to be an error itself. So like that, the customer master also is becomes very important here. So why is it important? Because say customer master file might not have a pin code which is valid, and we also so without a pin code of a customer, the invoicing will not get uploaded. So reviewing the customer master files, seeing if all the mandatory fields which is required in the invoicing is been made available within this month is very important to do. One more important to do is also checking your vendor turnover, whether your vendor is going to come within the invoicing limit. If it is applicable, then your procurement team also should be aware that because the limit is there, then not to accept any invoice without an IRN or a QR code with it. So these two becomes a very important to dos. Last very important thing is definitely the system updating. There is web based or else the accounting integration or a GST Suvidha provider. So easiest method to do the invoicing is to get the system integrated. We saw how easier it is to go and do a system integration, and quickly the portal is going to respond to the government portal and get back the invoice with the IRN integrated with it. So this becomes one important one. Okay. The next one thing is keeping a track of the errors which is going to appear. Say there is one error of HSN not found. One more error can be the pin code error. So whatever errors are going to appear on a timely basis, some tracker needs to be maintained for it with a solution to it. That is going to be one to do. And fifthly, very important is to get a trial version at least a week before the actual implementation of 1st January, so that from 1st January onwards, the e-invoicing is driven smoothly without any errors. So these are some of the to-dos. And I think one thing which they have posted in query is this as to B2C. How does a B2C dynamic QR code work? So in Tally, a UPI ID, which is actually used for payment from a B2C customer to the registered person under GST, is also added to the TDL, through which a dynamic code is always there, auto generated. It does not need to go to the invoicing portal. Say for example, this is a particular B2C invoice which is raised. So if I go ahead and print it, so it comes with a dynamic QR code already been there. So this is similar to if you go to any store, there is a QR code there. So this is similar to that. This is with the registered person UPI ID. There's a QR code, and this needs to be printed on the invoice. So in this TDL, this is also integrated. So once the UPI is generated, this gets automatically there in every B2C invoice. Uh, okay. the bill to ship to, which was an error earlier. Let us raise one more invoice with a bill to ship to case, and let us try solving the same. So in this particular case, let us go ahead, raise an invoice from bill ship to Punjab and bill to Karnataka location. That's going to be a local sale. Go ahead and giving a e-way bill as yes. So it is going to be PLR to Punjab. The vehicle number is 05K4771. The invoice number is 181. Raised. So going back to the invoicing module, see if it is pending. So 181 was the invoice we raised with a bill to ship to case in it. Let's go ahead, upload it. So it's come with an error free, that means it got generated. So 181 comes with the e-way bill, that is why the color coding green again. Go ahead, view it online. So if you view it online, it is going to be shipped to and place Punjab. Sorry, bill to, it is going to be Karnataka location. If it is shipped to, it is going to be Punjab location. So bill to ship to invoice also is raised with this module. If any questions are there, it can be taken or we are done.